and to be specific, at Nile Avenue. The truth is the sun is out bright and shining. We are in the August to December rain season. We have two rain seasons, and I'm sure someone somewhere is experiencing rainfall. It is raining, and I'm sure the farmers have a smile on their faces because it is time to plant, and of course there will be time for harvesting. Thank you for being with us on UBC TV. Welcome to Good Morning Uganda Extra. I'm Robert Chirabo Nyonyitono. Now remember, we are here from 6:30 with Good Morning Uganda, where the Fantastic Four brighten up your morning, so kindly make it a date with us. And then later we go into this extension where I usually have a guest or guests in studios and we discuss a topic of the day. Now this morning I'm going to be discussing something that many of you could have heard of. You've seen these people in communities doing good, but maybe there is so much that you don't know, or we just want to add on what you know. And today I'm going to be looking at Rotaract and its role in developing the youth in Uganda. Now, there is a belief that when you hear Interact clubs, that was in school, then you go to Rotaractors, then you go to Rotarians. There is that belief that these are people that have been enormously blessed and they are giving back to communities. Now I have a young lad with me in studios who happens to be the head of Rotaract in Uganda, Emmanuel Lukera. Welcome to the show and good morning.
Good morning to all our viewers. I'm happy to be here with you this morning to speak about our wonderful organization and to break a few myths and misconceptions that you might have, and of course also convince our viewers that are in our age bracket to come and join our organization.
Okay, now to begin with, you look very smart.
Thank you very much.
And maybe you look loaded. So let's begin by understanding who is a Rotaractor. What is its history? Because we have in school, that group, the Interact Club, they now have the Rotaractors, then the Rotarians. At the end of it, I don't know if then there's another title given to another age plus. So who are you in this category?
Yes. So Rotary is segmented into three categories that are major. The first is Interact, which is at school level. And I know that most of our viewers, including you, have had that experience.
I was. Until I reached a point and I'm like, maybe. Both people say fake it until you make it. You make it, but yes. I found my exit somewhere.
Yes. So Interact is for the ages 12 to 18, and it is largely at school level. Then yes. From 18 to about 33, we have the youth category, that is Rotaract. And Rotaract is basically for the young people. And Rotaract is also subdivided into two segments. That is at university level and also at community level. University level because students at the university have different needs and expectations. And people in the working class also have different needs and expectations. Then after that, we have what we call Rotary, which has been the most popular of all of them for a very long time, which is basically for the seniors over 30, 33, until infinity, until somebody is called by the Lord. So there is no category after Rotary, maybe heaven. But that is basically it. But anybody, even an 18-year-old, a 25-year-old, can join a Rotary club. But Rotary is structured in a way that you get assimilated slowly and slowly. As an interactor, a younger person, as a youth, as a Rotaractor, and later as a Rotarian, such you are fully formed and fully nurtured into the cause. Yes.
Now, let me understand, what is the intention of Rotary, the three structures? What does this organization, intend to be? Some may think it's a social club of those that have, where they meet, sip expensive wines, discuss issues at various levels, make connections, then find a few and say, let's give this to this project. Yeah. Why was it established and what is the intention?
Yes, so first and foremost, Rotaract was established first in the world in 1968 in North Carolina, that is in the United States of America. But in Uganda, it first got introduced in 1984 with the first club that was located in Chambogo and has grown by leaps and bounds over time. Rotary initially was the main organization, but they saw that there was a gap between Interact and Rotary, that people were idle in that age space of the youth, of their youthfulness. So they introduced what we call Rotaract, which is an acronym for Rotary in Action. That the more energetic, the more vibrant, albeit with less money, people are in Rotaract to first and foremost grow themselves as young persons. You know very well that no matter what you're looking for, if you're not fully formed and fully developed as a young person, then it is hard for you. So Rotaract has grown from 1984 from one club in Uganda to close to 200 clubs in Uganda, to the extent that we now have 2 jurisdictions, what we call districts in Uganda, that cater for a multitude of Rotary and Rotaract clubs. So wherever you go across this country, you'll find a Rotary club and a Rotaract club. Every town, whether major or minor, there's something Rotaract and Rotary about it. So Rotaract, once again to our viewers, is here primarily to help the young person develop their professional leadership skills, to become a better young person, a better worker if they're employed, like at this wonderful TV station, to become a better business person if they run an enterprise, but also if they're a student, to become a better and outstanding student. The other things then later fall in line, how a person relates with everybody in their community, how you relate with your clients, how you relate with your workmates, how you treat others around you. And of course, the third aspect is on serving the community, which I think is what our viewers have interacted most with us, that every other time you find us in your communities doing what we call community service or community interventions. Medical camps, digging boreholes and sinking them, providing basic education and literacy, constructing classroom blocks, providing books, many things, supporting the environment, planting trees. This year we are very big on planting trees and everything in that line, and that is community service. So those 3 are the major tenets as to why Rotaract exists, as to why Rotaract is a wonderful vehicle for every young person out there to join and be part of.
Now, talking about being a wonderful vehicle for every young person to join, is it for the rich or the haves?
No, it is not. And I will explain that in 2 forms. Because you know also, Mr. Chirabo, that richness is in very many forms. There's richness in monetary terms. There's richness, we say richness at heart, in giving, that a person might have so much, but they never want to let go of anything. Or a person might have so little, but they find a 10%, a 20% to give. So Rotary is not primarily for the rich in monetary terms, but for those that are willing to know that there is something above you as a person, that whereas you might be well off or getting to well off stage, there's people around you that need just the basics that you can assist them with. But also to come viewers, I do not think there's a problem with being rich. I know that all of us wake up every day to work harder, to do whatever we have to do so that we can improve our lives. So there's nothing wrong with being rich, and everybody's working hard to be rich, but it is not the primary purpose as to why somebody is called to join Rotaract.
But you can only give what you have.
Yes, of course. And that is why, like I told you in our goals, our first goal is to develop professional leadership skills. That when you're working at your workplace, when you're doing your business, work harder, become better. When you become better, those things come with more money. You're promoted, you get more clients in your business, so you get what you have. Yeah, you get better of the money that you're looking for, and from that money you give. But I also believe that even if you earn 10,000 a day, you can still put off 1,000 shillings to give to a cause. If you know, our viewers should know that a polio vaccine costs 0.66 cents, which is way less than 2,000 shillings. So anybody can be part of a change. Anybody can be part of community service. You know that trees that we're planting, each tree costs 1,000 shillings. So nobody's too rich, too poor not to give, and too rich not to receive. Yes.
I love that, too rich not to receive. At least nobody is too poor to give. But I think some people are too rich to receive. Well, we are still looking at Rotaract in Uganda and its role in development and developing the youth. Now, you rightly said Rotary is divided into 3 sectors: the Interactors, then the Rotaract, then the Rotarians at the end of the tail. Now, when we talk about interactors, what exactly do you do? Because you've seen so much the Rotarians, they have built boreholes, hospitals, okay, health centers, not hospitals, health centers. They have done so much development, and even charity. They have gone to orphanages, they have given. But for this particular, the youth group, what is that you can be proud of and say, these are some of the activities we've done that are community developing or returning to these communities where we come from?
Yes, so to make it also maybe clearer to our viewers, is that whereas there is an age difference or a gap in age and in seniority and in achievement, Rotaract clubs and Rotary clubs do the same things. So if they can build health centers, Rotaract clubs, if Rotary clubs can build health centers, Rotaract clubs can build health centers like the Rotaract Club of Kampala City has done in Chikube district in a place called Montembe. If a Rotary club can build a school, a Rotaract club can also build a school like the Rotaract Club of Kampala South has done in a village called Nyakijumba in Kavali. If a Rotary club can plant a forest, a Rotaract club can also plant a forest like the Rotaract Club of Bwegere Namboli is doing in Rakai district. So it's the same thing. What differs maybe is the magnitude, but the work is the same. For example, like I told you, there's levels of seniority. So you might not have, as young people and as expected, the same amount of resources like our seniors. But we encourage that everybody does what is within their reach. That you might not build a health center with 10 with 5 maternity wards, but you can build a health center with 1 maternity ward, which is also a step in the right direction. You might not build a classroom block with 10 classrooms, but you might build one with 2 classrooms. That is also a change. What matters is that you're doing something, and also we are guided as Rotary clubs and Rotaract clubs by what we call our areas of focus, which are what guide our achievements, supporting the environment, disease prevention and treatment. We do a lot of medical camps in communities and interventions. A Rotaract club can do that, a Rotary club can do that. We have maternal and child health, providing mama kits, advising the ladies to go for antenatal care and all those things. Anybody can give that information across the board. We have supporting peace and conflict resolution. Anybody that has the information can go to our communities and give it out. So there is no difference in what we do. What is different is in the levels at which we do it, but also that some Rotaract clubs are doing even much greater. But that's not for the viewers to know, because I know that young people these days, we are very ambitious, which is a very nice thing. And so Rotaract is the place to bring all kinds of ambition. And every young person should know that whatever a Rotary club can do, they can also do in a Rotaract club. And once you're done with being a Rotaractor or a Rotaract member, you can then proceed to a Rotary club and even do it on a bigger and a larger scale. After all, you would have been developed as a Rotaractor, as a professional, as a businessman. So you'll have the muscle, both financial, experience, and otherwise.
Now, let's go a bit personal.
Yes.
You're the president of Rotaract in Uganda now. But what inspired you to join Rotary?
Well, for me, it was a simple decision. Because just like yourself, I was an interactor. Although you said you're an interactor for a short time. But as an interactor, both at St. Mary's College, Kisubi, and also at Nalia SS, where I went for my A-level. So I also served as a president at that club there. So when I joined Makerere, it was a little bit of a reflex for me to join a Rotaract club, to grow myself as a young person, but to break the monotony of class, church, and hostel. I wanted to build a circle for myself. I wanted to expand my network, people that can vouch for me, people that can defend me, people that can send me various opportunities if they know that I can do something. So that is why I primarily joined Rotaract. But of course, also the second reason was to help be part of the change in the community through community service. Because like I told you, there's something that everybody can do to make this world a better place. So those have been my 2 reasons. Of course, the reasons grow every other day. Some you discover. Everybody has something, that's why they joined Rotaract. What matters is also remembering why you joined at the start and staying true to your cause and incorporating other aspects into your Rotaract life. But that is why I joined on a personal note. Yes.
Now, there is so much that Rotarians do, interactors do. How do you have these funds available? Because it is voluntarily, non-profit, and most of the times today we see that many people look at, they're saying, you know, Rotarians, we don't see that you're, Rotaractors that you're paid at the end of the month. That is, what is there for?
Yes.
Someone to benefit, my young brother at campus, what is there for these people to benefit and say, yes, we are going to give in? And how do you manage sustain this over the years? Here you've built a well, you know, modern one, bore holes, and then they tell you these are students at university, health centers, planted forests. How do you manage to run the day-to-day? And what is there for you that maybe we don't know?
Yes.
If you're at liberty to let us know.
Yeah, of course. Rotary and Rotaract are public organizations, but they're also service organizations. And what makes us different is that in Rotaract, we pay to serve. First of all, we subscribe as members, and then also make other contributions towards our interventions before we do anything else. So if at any one point in time, for example, we plan on constructing a maternity ward that is going to cost, just for the sake of making the numbers easy, 1 million shillings or 10 million shillings, and a club has 100 people, we first split the budget amongst ourselves and say, everybody, a year from now, we're going to construct and start on this project of 10 million shillings. And everybody is expected to bring at least 100,000 a year from now. So we've given our colleagues enough time to prepare. So after that, we say, please, you can start contributing as and when your wallet is happier or allows. And 100 people contributing 100,000, I think gets us to our figure of 10 million shillings. But also, I must emphasize that we have some projects that are way beyond that. So what we do is that we phase them. If a project is 100 million shillings, we say we shall do it over a 5-year term. So every other time we do a 20 million shillings phase, it is, and in 5 years, we are done with changing and transforming that community. So Rotaract members across all our over 100 clubs in Uganda collect their own resources. They save from pocket money if they're students, they save from their salaries if they're employed, they save from their profits if they're business people to give to a cause. Because like I said, nobody is too poor to give. But also is that when you become a Rotaractor, you have to realign some of your resources. If you've been spending on certain things, you've been buying a lot of clothes, realize that I will now let go of 2 shirts for the sake of buying at least 10 textbooks for a child down there in our villages to have better access to basic education and literacy. But if I have been having or buying 10 pairs of shoes every other 2 months, I will now reduce to at least 5 and dedicate this money to ensuring that a village somewhere has access to clean water. I might even never benefit from that drinking water, but it doesn't matter. Somebody else is having it better. And that's how we do it. We phase our giving, we plan it very well, we do not ambush people, rarely ambush people, but for emergencies, so that it's made easy in people's pockets. People have a lot of things to spend on, a lot of things to contribute for. So we are good planners, we organize people, and avoid ambushes whatsoever, minus emergencies, which are really faced elsewhere. So everybody can get from something. A student at school can get 10,000 to give to a project. A person that is employed and is earning 1 million shillings can get 50,000 every other month and spare it from somewhere else and give to a community intervention for the sake of making the lives of those that we do not know about better. And that is what Rotaract is about. We pay to serve, we subscribe as members, but then also contribute. And tell you what, many a times when we go for our interventions, we are the ones that do the work. If you have a construction site that you're working on, a classroom block, we have experts to guide us, but if it is doing casual work of pushing the wheelbarrows with 100 bricks, you'll find Rotaract members. If we're at a medical camp, we might not be the ones to inject people. I'm a businessman, so I cannot even get close to syringes, but we'll have the doctors there. But matters to do with registration or telling patients that you're supposed to go here, you're supposed to go here, that we do ourselves. So we pay and contribute, but we are also involved to get that experience, to know what it feels to get that work done. And that's what makes us different. And that's what every young person in our country and beyond should aim to be part of, to make their lives better and also make the lives of others better.
Well, very interesting there. And allow me on that note, go for a short break. When we come back, I'm still with Emmanuel, who is the head of Interact, that is in this country, known as Uganda Rotaract, and your Rota, because those are Interact group, those are Interactors.
Yes.
Rotaractors.
Yes, Rotaractors.
Then Rotarians.
Yes, Rotarians.
Well, by the end of this show, we'll have gotten these three terms very properly. And at the end of the day, you also be joining a group of where you fit. If you're a student, go to the Interact Club. If you're a youth, yes, the Rotaractors are waiting for you. If you are above the 35 plus, then the Rotarians are waiting for you. All is about humanity, giving back, development, and of course, no one is too poor to give. I won't complete with no one is too rich to receive. Let's return.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
The Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, together with International Growth Center, will host the 7th High-Level Economic Growth Forum under the theme, Strengthening Uganda's Competitiveness to Foster Accelerated Economic Growth. The forum will take place on the 24th and 25th of August 2023 at Kampala Serena Hotel. The 7th EGF will focus on global economic development and economic growth in Uganda, domestic revenue mobilization, boosting exports and farm productivity, climate change and growth, as well as technology as a driver of productivity and growth. Key speakers of the forum include Oxford University Professor of Economic Policy Stephen Dacon, Honorable Mattia Kasaija, the Minister for Finance, Ramadhan Gobi, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Finance, the President of Uganda, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, will be the chief guest. The 7th Economic Growth Forum will broadcast live on UBC TV and the Finance Ministry communication platforms with the hashtag #7EGFUG.
And in talking news, MTN has improved on their data voice bundles. You can now call across all networks for the same price. We've talked to several eyewitnesses on the ground, and this is what one of them had to say.
Amos, did you hear about the MTN daily voice bundles?
So, to join many more other Ugandans enjoying these MTN daily voice bundles, dial *100 *21# or use the My MTN app to start enjoying. Stay tuned for more offers from MTN.
UBC is the national public broadcaster. We educate, inform, entertain, and inspire our audiences. You can watch us on free-to-air channel 001, DSTV channel 282, GoTV channel 371, Star Times channel 201, Zuku TV channel 20, and Azam TV channel 350. Even when your subscription expires, you can still watch UBC for free on your pay TV platforms.
The Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, together with International Growth Center, will host the 7th High-Level Economic Growth Forum under the theme, Strengthening Uganda's Competitiveness to Foster Accelerated Economic Growth. The forum will take place on the 24th and 25th of August 2023 at Kampala Serena Hotel. The 7th EGF will focus on global economic development and economic growth in Uganda, domestic revenue mobilization, boosting exports and farm productivity, climate change and growth, as well as technology as a driver of productivity and growth. Key speakers of the forum include Oxford University Professor of Economic Policy Stephen Dacon, Honorable Mateka Saija, the Minister for Finance, Ramadan Gobi, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Finance, the President of Uganda, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, will be the chief guest. The 7th Economic Growth Forum will broadcast live on UBC TV and the Finance Ministry communication platforms with the hashtag #7EGFUG.
Peak of the day on UBC.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
Was brought to you by
MTN Momo Pay is the easy way to pay. Dial *165*3# or use the MTN Momo app. You don't need cash. MTN Momo Pay is safe and free.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Welcome back from that break. Thank you for being with us on UBC TV. We appreciate now. It is still Good Morning Uganda Extra. I'm Robert Chirabo Nyonyitono, and I have Emmanuel Lukera, who happens to be the head of Rotaract in Uganda. We are looking at Rotaract and development in this country, more when it comes to the youth in our country. Now, previously, we've been able to understand what Rotaract is all about, what they do. Now we want to look at avenues of service. What are your priority areas as Rotaractors in this country?
Thank you, Robert, for that question. Like I told you earlier, our organization is very well segmented because we want to make it easy for everybody, for every member to get involved, to be active and participate. So we have what we call avenues of service that guide and act as our yardsticks as we go about our work as Rotaract members, but also as Rotary members. First of them that the community knows most about is community service, and I think we've expanded on that very well. Our community interventions across our areas of focus, like I have listed previously, to help us do and make the world a better place by doing those various community interventions. The second one is international service. What you, our viewer, must know is that Rotaract is not only here in Uganda, but it's a global organization. Across all the continents of the world, across almost all the countries in the world, over 200 countries have Rotary and Rotaract clubs in them. So international service helps us to understand better how the rest of the world that is beyond our country does their thing, their cultures, and how we can get to appreciate them, how they behave, their way of life, how they handle certain situations. So we have what we call cultural exchanges in Rotary and in Rotaract. We have what we call youth exchanges, where young people, mostly students, can move from a university here in Makerere and go to a university in Australia, a university in Austria, in Germany, to spend a month, a year, learning about the culture of that world, sharing our own culture, Ugandan culture, with the rest of the world. And that is what international service does. But also we get to relate and work closely with clubs from all over the globe. We have partnerships with clubs in as near as Kenya, Rwanda, South Sudan, Tanzania, but also clubs as far as Chicago in the United States, clubs in Singapore, to exchange, to share interventions. You might know that we have quite a number of challenges in our country, community challenges and problems. And some of the countries have less of those problems because they're places without drinking water challenges. But it is one of our areas of focus that we want everybody to have access to water, sanitation, and hygiene. So a club in Singapore, for example, might be interested in assisting us here in Uganda to actualize sinking a borehole for people in a certain village. So we work together with them. We do the needs assessment, we do the surveys and etc. And their work is to participate and provide the funding to a larger level, and we get the work done. So that is what international service does. Exchange of cultures, working together with those that are beyond the confines and the boundaries of our country. We also have what we call vocational service. Under this is that every Rotaract member gets to utilize their skill, what they studied, to serve the community. If we have a community intervention, for example, we have what we call legal camps these days. We expect all the lawyers in the participating club to be the ones that are offering that legal service and tell you what, for free of charge, because they're using their vocation to better the community. If we have doctors in our clubs, they're at the forefront of treating the patients that come to our medical camps. If we have, what could I say, if we have surveyors and people want advice on land matters, these people are there to assist using their vocations, because you know that experience is built not just in formal employment where you show up every day in your wonderful suit and sit behind your desk and computer, but going up to the lowest person in the community to find out the uniqueness of their challenges. So whereas as a young person you're assisting the person in that community, you're also getting better experience that shall help you even address and become a better professional, a better lawyer, a better doctor, a better surveyor. If we are constructing a maternity ward or a classroom block, we expect the architects in our clubs to be at the forefront in providing that service, so that their work and their footprint is also well embedded onto that intervention. The other aspect that I would also share with our viewers is also a simple one, which is basically club service, how we relate with ourselves at club level. Each club is an independent entity, whereas we have a team that supervises all of them, which I'm happy to head this year. But club service is basically about dealing with ourselves. We aim to build a family at every club. A family, and in quotes, because we all come from different backgrounds, different parts of this country, different regions. We are of different faiths, but we join for one major cause, which is serving humanity and becoming better people. So at club service, we ensure that everybody is taken care of, first by understanding and appreciating and helping to drive each individual towards the point as to why they joined Rotaract. If somebody joined Rotaract to become a better speaker, to become a better person at accountability by being a treasurer, we point them towards that direction, so that at the end of the day, they get to benefit. But we also celebrate each other and have a good time. And whereas you've been to many Rotaract and Rotary parties, we structure our parties in a way that they are a reward for something, a reward for service, a reward for development. It is rare, or it is unheard of, that as Rotaract members, we wake up just to have a good time. In fact, it is irresponsible, and we are very responsible people. So every day when we have those celebrations, there's always a cause attached. Either we've just handed over a borehole to a community that has not had water for a very long time, or we've just planted 1,000 trees in a single day. So we have a reason to celebrate, but we also recognize and celebrate people's milestones. If you're a Rotaract member, people will celebrate your birthday. People will celebrate your marriage anniversary if you're married. People will celebrate you very dearly if you get that degree or that master's, so that we build a family just beyond you coming every Tuesday. Maybe also the viewers should know that all our clubs meet at least once a week for 1 hour. So nobody can claim to be so busy to join a Rotaract club next to them or a Rotary club next to them, because in those meetings we have speakers that are speaking about various things: developmental, career, fun, to develop and grow an all-round individual, because that is what we aim to do as Rotaract members. So that is under club service, which we also sometimes subdivide and call the family of Rotary, the family of Rotaract, to ensure that everybody is comfortable, everybody is taken care of, and everybody is appreciated across board for whatever that they do. So that is it on the avenues of service. Yes.
Well, so much into there, and the reason why you should join Rotary. Actually, the first time I interfaced with Rotarians, it wasn't on a good note. And why, though I've not yet fully joined, it was when one Rotarian had gone to be with our Lord. He was engineer Rotarian Emmanuel Katerega. And I saw this unique group of people. They had their tent, they had heavy contribution, they stood with family. Now I'm like, but of all social gatherings here, there's this group of people, and they told me, no, those are Rotarians. When they lose one of their own, they are mandated to do certain things. And they took over certain burial process and all that. So I said, okay, think away from where I've seen Rotarian, donated by Rotarians group of Kampala, this and that. These are people who even at both joyous and sorrow times, they're there. But now, how does one join? For example, your specific docket, how does one become a Rotaract?
Yes, I think you've mentioned a very wonderful example that I've also got to experience as a person over time. That if you are a Rotaract member, and you have any kind of event, sad or happy, you are sure that your fellow members are going to be with you in those moments. And that's what I talked about, that we aim to build a family. We aim to build a group that is beyond just doing community work or service or development, but something that touches the human aspect. Because whereas people might join Rotary and Rotaract for various reasons, that family is where they stay. That is why people, without being chased after, without being reminded, show up every week at their clubs, meeting places, because they know that there's something beyond me showing up just to listen to this guest speaker. I am showing up because I'm expected here, because I have signed up for this responsibility. But also I know that I'm a big part of this family. So as a family member, I must be present. And that's how it works. So anybody is welcome to join a Rotary club. No matter your background, no matter your religion, no matter your faith, no matter your political affiliation, you can join a Rotary club. And like I said at the beginning of our interaction, that almost every major town, even minor towns now in this country, has a Rotaract or a Rotary club. Surprisingly, in Kampala, we have, in the Kampala metropolitan area, we have, I think, a club every 100 meters that meets on every day, including Sunday in the afternoon, of course, after church and after that family lunch. So anybody can sign up to join a Rotary club. Primarily, joining a Rotary club or a Rotary club would be by invitation. But you know that we've advanced, and one of the tenets of Rotary is that Rotary grows and changes with the times. So these days we've changed our model, and that is why all our clubs have what we call social media handles and are present on Twitter, on Facebook. So what a viewer today has to do, a wonderful viewer has to do, is to go on Twitter, it's now called X, I'm told. Go to X, go to Facebook, go to Instagram, and type in Rotaract Club of, and then the location that is next to you, either where you work or where you stay. We also aim at making Rotary and Rotaract easy, that we encourage people that you join a Rotaract club that is either next to your workplace, so that after work you can just walk in and attend your meeting, or a place that is next to your home where you sleep, so that after your club meeting, you're in no rush to get home. So when you type in, if you stay in Seta, you type in Seta. If you work in Mbale and stay in Mbale, you type in Mbale, they'll bring you over 20 clubs, and just inbox any of those clubs and tell them you want to join Rotaract. I've already mentioned the specifics. If you're between 18 and 30 to 33. If you're at a university, just type in Rotaract Club and your university. Something will pop up, and if they ask you who has referred you, you just say you watched a wonderful program this morning and Emmanuel told you to ask and reach out to them. That is how you can join Rotaract. After that, you will be onboarded as a guest. You'll be taught the ways of Rotaract, the expectations, which are primarily two. First is that we are a membership organization, so we subscribe every other year. And the average is between 75 to 150,000 across our clubs, and that is a year, which I think every young person that wants to become better can afford, or if they cannot afford, can sacrifice, because it's through sacrifices that we become better. The second requirement or prerequisite is that you should be able to attend at least 60% of our engagements. We appreciate that people are up to so many things and are busy and are handling very many things, looking for money. That is why we say we don't expect 100% from any of our members, but 60% is good enough for you as an attending Rotaract member. So even if you're busy, even if you are so engaged, you can find a club on a Sunday, you can find a club that meets at 7 p.m. after your work, you can find a club that meets very early in the morning at 7 a.m. before you check into office. And that is how easy it is for you to become a Rotaract member if you are a young person. And if the age has passed you already, then you should do the same procedures and steps to become a Rotarian, because where we are now, we are over 3,000 Rotaract members in Uganda, but we are in a population of over 45 million 45 million Ugandans. So what that implies that we need more hands on the job to do community service. We need more people to help bring about this change in our community, but also that we need more people to benefit from the so many good things that Rotaract has to offer across the board. So I would like to extend this invitation to all our viewers online, young people, old people, those that think they are rich, those that think they're not rich, because like I said, it's not about how much you have. It's about the willingness and the understanding that no matter how much you have, you are able to sacrifice a little so that somebody out there becomes better. But also that as a young person, you realize that it is important for you not to waste the years of your youth, not getting any development, like they say these days, just being there without something changing good about you. Yet we have Rotaract. So please utilize this opportunity and become a Rotaract member.
Well, I must let you go, Emmanuel, and give room for the next program. Let me just have your concluding remark.
Yes, I would like to thank you once again, Robert, for hosting me this morning to share with our wonderful viewers that watch the national broadcaster about our wonderful organization. We shall be making 40 years in Uganda in March this coming year, and we shall have very mega celebrations. We also have a lot of work going on. So wherever each of our viewers sees Rotaract, Rotary, please be part of those interventions. Anybody can walk in, anybody can sign up, and be part of the change that you want to see in the world, as also you also be part of creating hope in our wonderful country. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, the president of Rotaract in Uganda, Emmanuel Lukera. Thank you for your time and that invitation. Well, let's join, because this is a noble cause. One of the things that I cherish in life is giving back to community. And most of the times when I see Ugandans who have been blessed, spending money, splashing, doing funny, lavish things in the name of showing they have the money, I only ask, what if you could give that money to charity? What if you could give that money to make someone's life different? And when I saw politicians have done a lot, what have you done giving back where you're not expecting to receive anything? Earthly, you could get spiritual benefits, but earthly. So when you have such opportunities like being in the Interact group, you being a Rotaract, being a Rotarian, let's join and let's give back. Let's improve our communities. Let's improve people's lives. And above all, the social network, the benefits you get there are so enormous. Have a lovely day. See you tomorrow, God willing. Don't overspeed, speed kills, but let's also be very law-abiding citizens and patriotic for Uganda to meet that class we always dream to be in. Middle class, then later the first class economy. Have a lovely day.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
The Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, together with International Growth Center, will host the 7th High-Level Economic Growth Forum under the theme, Strengthening Uganda's Competitiveness to Foster Accelerated Economic Growth. The forum will take place on the 24th and 25th of August 2023 at Kampala Serena Hotel. The 7th EGF will focus on global economic development and economic growth in Uganda, domestic revenue mobilization, boosting exports and farm productivity, climate change and growth, as well as technology as a driver of productivity and growth. Key speakers of the forum include Oxford University Professor of Economic Policy Stephen Dacon, Honorable Matia Kasaija, the Minister for Finance, Ramadhan Gobi, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Finance, the President of Uganda, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, will be the chief guest. The 7th Economic Growth Forum will broadcast live on UBC TV and the Finance Ministry communication platforms with the hashtag #7EGFUG.
Hello, darling.
Hi, Granny.
What did you do this weekend?
Well, on Friday, I went on a science trip with my classmates to Windy to see the gorillas. Then we watched the Cup final in London.
Oh.
On Saturday,
Saturday, my friends and I met up to hunt some dragons. Again! Also, I taught the vacuum cleaner and the TV this new dance everyone's doing. They're really getting into it. And on Sunday, I went to bed watching the world from space.